You won't get a job auto-applying on Indeed. The deck is stacked against you, and if you play the same game as everyone else, you're just gonna get the same results. So I'm a job market expert with 7 years of experience researching and teaching about the market to help young adults launch into their professional careers. And today I want to talk about why getting a job is now impossible, how there's a mismatch between what companies want and what applicants are doing, why online job boards don't work anymore, and how you can land a well-paying job in this economy in a way that works. It's a lot to go over, so please be sure to like this video and subscribe if you are new, and let's get right into it. Getting a job online is now harder than ever before, with more and more job seekers saying that only 3% of their applications are actually leading to an interview. That means of every 100 applications they submit, only 3 get back to them, and the other 97 ghost them without so much as a conversation. Now, there are some confounders here that make this data look especially bad. Bots, applicant tracking systems, and candidates applying to hundreds of jobs that aren't relevant to them are all things that make the job market look worse than it actually is. And we'll get to those problems here in a minute. But the truth of the matter is that there is a mismatch between what companies want out of candidates and what candidates are actually doing. We'll start on the education side. New, well-paying jobs are increasingly complex, and 70% of new salary jobs created require some type of college degree. This is in spite of the fact that college enrollment rates have dropped in recent years, especially amongst young men who don't believe that college is worth it. And you might be saying, hey, wait a minute, I saw some article that said that most jobs are getting rid of the degree requirements. And that is true. However, most of the jobs getting rid of degree requirements are jobs that shouldn't have required a college degree to begin with. Think lower level roles in business, clerical jobs with the government, and so on. The flip side of that is that new salaried positions are continuously looking for something beyond high school. And so if you're finishing high school but not going on to something like trade school, college, or getting additional licenses, then you're still going to get outcompeted in the broader job market. But let's just put education aside here for a minute, because the truth is that every recruiter that I talk to is beyond frustrated with how candidates are applying to their jobs. Instead of selling their education skills and experiences in a way that relate to the job description and actually match what a hiring manager is looking for, candidates are mass manufacturing these generic resume templates that have a bunch of white space and are filled with a bunch of cliches that don't mean anything to a hiring manager. And don't get me wrong, like, I get it. Bureaucratic red tape and the willy-nilly adoption of SaaS apps and requiring candidates to make accounts and refill everything that was in their resume whenever they apply on a company website really sucks. It's tedious and demoralizing, and once you've gotten through that process with one company, you just feel like you need to move on to the next. You're not really thinking about making a tailored resume or following up with recruiters at that company because it was already such a pain to get to that point to begin with. But the sad reality is that people who do that, who tailor their application documents and who talk to recruiters, are the ones who actually get noticed and who actually get interviewed. And so there's that mismatch between what candidates are doing and what hiring managers are actually looking for. And so not doing that is a huge part of why only 3% of companies are getting back to you, because you just get washed out in all of that other noise of bots, ATS issues, and irrelevant candidates. Which, let's shift gears and talk about that for a minute, because bots are becoming something of a plague on the online job board landscape. Basically, people pay for these services where they put in a certain prompt, and then anytime that a job pops up that's related to that, the bot automatically submits their resume to it. But here's the problem. Let's say that the only prompt you put in is that you want to work at NASA, and so every single time NASA posts a job, the application bot submits your resume to it. Now let's say that it's not just you doing this, but tens of thousands of other people, and so NASA can no longer post jobs to online job boards, because every single time that they do, hundreds if not thousands of random irrelevant resumes get submitted to that job. And so what's a company to do? Well, that's the reason why companies have adopted what are called applicant tracking systems, or ATS. What is ATS? Simply put, an applicant tracking system is a way for HR teams or hiring managers to sift through resumes and manage applicants to jobs. And there are some pros and cons to this. On the plus side, it does make it easy to sift through that noise and pull out a candidate with a very specific degree or some type of relevant experience that they're looking for. On the bad side of things, though, it makes it super easy for your resume to get washed out because you didn't include a specific keyword about yourself that they might have put into the ATS to find you. In fact, ATS are why colleges have taken a super, almost conservative traditionalist turn with how they write resumes in the past few years. It seemed like we were moving in this direction where resumes were getting more creative, modern, visually interesting. But then after ATS hit the system, we totally 180'd and started to emphasize traditional, black and white, easy to skim and understand, curated ATS-friendly resumes. And you might be wondering why I'm telling you all of this. This isn't really relevant to you as a job seeker, that's more a problem for hiring managers. But this is really a testament to the fact that one, online job boards have become really ineffective to apply to, and two, that you need an ATS-friendly tailored resume every single time that you apply to a job. Link in the description, by the way. And so my hope is that I can convince you to take your resume and cover letter and tailor it to the job descriptions of positions that you're applying to. Go through that description and find X, Y, and Z that the company is looking for that relates to what it is that you bring to the table. You're never going to be a 100% match to a job, and that's okay. But if you can do your due diligence to fit into the role that you're applying to with the 3 things about you that most strongly relate to them, then it's going to be super easy for any human being who does see your resume to think, oh, this is the person that I should interview for this job. And while that advice is well and good, I can't comfortably stop there. Because online job boards are probably the worst place to find an entry-level, full-time, or salaried job in a professional industry. NASA doesn't hire on Indeed, Goldman Sachs doesn't hire on Indeed, and even Walmart, corporate, does not hire on Indeed. So where are they hiring from? Well, that really depends on who you are as a candidate. If you are a college student, then almost all entry-level professional positions are being filled through on-campus hiring events. These are things like career fairs, open houses, information sessions, and professional development conferences that different clubs and fraternities will do. You know, basically anything where you have to put on a dress shirt and a tie and go hand your resume to some dude at a booth, that's an on-campus recruiting event. You know, and I'll pull back the curtain a little bit on this and give you some statistics too. So I work at an R1 university, and at that university, 85% of my students who graduate with a full-time job offer in hand got that job offer from some type of on-campus recruiting event. It was only 15% of them who got that job through other means. Think online job boards, playing the LinkedIn game, knowing someone, stuff like that. And so that's 85%, which is wild. But why is that the case? Well, put yourself in the company's shoes here for a minute. If you know that you need to hire people with a specific college major and you're hiring for entry-level roles, it's going to be a lot more effective for you to just spend an afternoon going to a career fair, because you know that the college is going to spoon-feed you eager applicants with relevant credentials who want a job. And so it's a no-brainer from a corporate point of view to prioritize going to a few career fairs in your area instead of posting to online job boards. And so if you are a college student, the most effective way to land a relevant professional job is going to be from some type of on-campus recruiting event. But let's say that you've graduated already. First and foremost, if you still have access to those career fairs and you are still in the area, just go to them. Most colleges will let you do this. But let's say that you can't. You can go onto your college website or Handshake, Simplicity, whatever it is that your college uses, and you can go and look at the on-campus recruiting events that happened over the past year. And more often than not, you can filter those events based off who was hiring for your major. Because if a company has entry-level jobs that want someone with your major, then they probably have mid to senior level jobs too that leverage your particular skill set. Something else I would encourage you to do is figure out where alumni with your degree are working. What companies are they at, and where physically in America are they located? If your school has stuff like first destination data and the NACM survey, you can use those, but you can even go onto LinkedIn and use your college's alumni tool in order to find out where people with your educational background have ended up. But even if you didn't go to college, you should still be meeting opportunities where they're at and applying to jobs in the places where companies are actually looking. And that means talking to the recruiters at those companies. Look, if I wanted to be some career administrator at a different university on the other side of the country, I'm not going to Indeed to look for a job. I'm doing two different things. First and foremost, I am finding NACE's professional job boards because that's the organization that manages professional development in my industry. And then I would find the hiring managers for these roles on that specialized job board, ask them some questions about the position, and then finally apply on their website and follow up to let them know that I had done so. But let's say I wanted to work at the Forest Service. I would not go to Indeed for these jobs because I know that government agencies only hire through usajobs.gov, and I know that the Forest Service only hires through USDA hiring managers. And so specialized job boards and recruiters are your friends. You know, if you reach out to 100 recruiters, you might not get 100 responses back, but you're sure as shit not gonna get ghosted 97 times. Just introduce yourself, tell them what you're trying to do, and ask them what you need to do in order to be an effective candidate at that company or for those roles. Career gurus like myself can give you all of the generalized advice in the world, but no one is going to have better advice for that specific company than a recruiter who works at that company and is financially incentivized to help you get a job. Now that that's out of the way, here are some other considerations that you should really be making when it comes to advancing or even just starting your career. First and foremost, please don't write off higher education because some rich crypto bro told you that college is a scam. The career value of an education is not that sheet of paper. It is the personal and professional development that you went through while attending college, as well as the university's recruiting infrastructure that they have set up because they are incentivized to give their graduates a good job. That way you can make a lot of money and donate a bunch of money back to them in the future. Okay, it might not be a virtuous cycle, but it's definitely an effective one. 72% of new salaried positions require some type of degree beyond high school. And there's still a mountain of data that if you take two people from the same socioeconomic circumstances, the one who went to college will make significantly more money over the course of their career than the person who did not. So be willing to play the long game and consider education a part of that. The second consideration to make is to make a tailored resume and follow up with recruiters, damn it. It's what works. But the third consideration you want to make is finding the same category of job that you already do in a different industry. What I mean by that is don't limit yourself to a tech company just because you have a computer science degree. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Forest Service needs software engineers, nonprofits need webmasters, and even public schools need IT support professionals. You never know where you might find a job that leverages your skill set, but offers better pay, has better flexibility, or that has benefits that wouldn't have been available to you working at the types of companies that you were at before. I know that there are 1,000 considerations that you need to make when trying to find a job, but that doesn't mean that getting a job has to be impossible. I'm releasing new videos every single week on different topics that can help you take effective next steps towards your career goals, whatever those might be. So please be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you are new, and I will see you over in the next video.